This is Zach Hampel, and you're watching the JV Podcast. And now, here are your hosts, Satchel White, Young Bin Kim, and Dalton Brown.
All right, what is up, you guys? Welcome back to the podcast episode. What is this episode?
Episode
5?
5, I think. Wait, hang on. Actually, let me check. We may have to restart this.
Episode something. Welcome to episode something, okay? And this episode, we don't have Youngbin, unfortunately. He's got homework, which is obviously more important. And we got something coming up, right? In a couple days, I'm actually headed to Texas, and we're going to be hanging out, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. We're going to be hanging out for a whole week. It's going to be fun.
Hell yeah. We're going to just hang out, maybe do a few videos, and maybe even do a podcast. In-person podcast, both of us. That's actually going to be dope, dude.
That is going to be fun. I am excited for it, man. This is going to be the first time in a while that I've seen Satchel in person. We're going to be taking advantage of the situation to the brim. We're going to have so much fun.
We've only hung out. We've only seen each other once in person, and that was like what, like an hour?
That was about an hour and a half to 2 hours. We hung out at Whataburger, and then we went over to play some wiffle ball. Well, then it's been 2 hours. Because
me and my friend were just going on the road trip. We're in a little bit of a rush. But, yeah, I'm just going to go over to Texas. I'm going to see my uncle a little bit. And then we're going to hang out a lot, too. So, that's going to be dope. I'm ready for that.
This is episode 6.
Episode 6? Okay.
By the way. Just want to let you know.
Okay, episode 6. So, in this episode, we're going to talk about the Hall of Fame, a few of the trades that's happening. It's actually been... There's been some pretty big news in terms of trades. And yeah, why don't we just start off by, I think the news yesterday was that it's pretty confirmed that the season, it's going to be a full season. That's going to happen. Last season was very weird with the whole 60 game thing. So I'm pretty glad that there's going to be a full season. What do you think about that?
I'm absolutely excited, man. I mean, we've been waiting to get a full season of baseball for a whole year now. I mean, we're going to go back to normal for once, an actual spring training, a full season, and we may even still get an extended playoff, it seems like. So it may seem as if the 4-round playoff may become a permanent thing in the MLB, and that is awesome. That is absolutely awesome.
Dude, I would love to have that a permanent thing. Like, that would just be so exciting in October. Just every team having way bigger of a chance to make it. That would be sick, you know?
Okay. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, especially when you got teams that are close in each division, first and second place, you have these teams who can get second place in a division, before this format, and they wouldn't make the playoffs, only because another team did a little better than them, and they're in like third place in their division. Yeah. But now you got two teams in the same division going head-to-head in the playoffs to see which team is actually better in the playoffs. Yep. Not about the regular season. This is all about the playoffs now, and it is going to be a sick thing to see.
It is going to be fun. Yeah, wait, is that like for certain that they're going to do that? Extended playoffs?
Last I checked, I'm pretty sure, yes.
Wow, that would be exciting. I actually didn't know that, but yeah, I'm a fan of that. Definitely, you're clearly a fan too. So something else that happened was the Hall of Fame. This year, nobody was inducted into the Hall of Fame, including Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens. What do you think about that?
Well, Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens, so I'll get into them here in a moment. But, you look at the entire ballot. I mean, some of these guys were absolutely amazing, like Todd Helton. But of course, and Curt Schilling, of course, who was very close this year, very, very close. But then you just got other guys who were just almost like thrown in, just like fish in a pond almost. They were just brought in out of nowhere. They got in guys with like low stats, and they brought in guys like Nick Swisher, who had 240 home runs in his career. I don't know. That doesn't sound very Hall of Fame worthy to me. Not to mention, you would think he would have hits, right? About 1,200 hits. That's not. Still not Hall of Fame worthy. No. And 700 RBIs? No. So, I mean, you get all these guys just piled into the Hall of Fame ballot. I mean, and then get the steroid argument going into, which I'll get into again. It's just, it's clearly a recipe for disaster, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of very a lot of very odd people that are put into the ballot. We're gonna talk about that more later because we're gonna go into the list of the 2022 ballots. But yeah, I'll just start off by saying with the steroid thing. I mean, I'm just not a fan. Even no matter what period in the career, if they took steroids, a Hall of Fame is to like honor players. And I mean, if you cheated, Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens. I mean, if you look at their stats, it's truly unbelievable. But it's clear that they are good players. But to me, it's a Hall of Fame, and it's used to honor players. And I'm completely fine with them not being let into the Hall of Fame. But at the same time, I don't know how they didn't let anybody in. Like, there's players like Kurt Schilling and a few others that, there shouldn't be a year that you don't let people into the Hall of Fame,
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think that should be the next thing I talk about personally is the steroid players. Now, here's what I have for steroid users, and I'm going to say this as blatantly as possible. If you did steroids and the years that you started and stopped are confirmed, those stats should be taken out automatically. Every single hit, every single run, every single at-bat you had should be taken out completely. Okay? If your stats still match up to be Hall of Fame numbers outside of those years you did steroids, then yeah, you should be in the Hall of Fame. No questions asked. No questions asked in my mind. You can go into the Hall of Fame. But if most of your years, like for example, Barry Bonds, he started doing steroids as confirmed right now when he started playing with the Giants, when he first came to San Francisco. Okay, he had barely 200 or so home runs with the Pirates. Take those stats out. Heck, let's say we took out the stats even 3 seasons in or 4 seasons in, right? He still barely got like 300 something home runs, which to me, I mean, kind of is Hall of Fame worthy, but it's not high. It's not something that should be praised or anything. I mean, he should go into, if he's going to go into the Hall of Fame, he should go into the Hall of Fame with those stats, not 762 home runs. Sure, Hank Aaron even said himself that he should be in the Hall of Fame, but no, just doesn't sound right at all. I mean, you have the rules set there for a reason. You have guys who were banned from the league for doing steroids. Now you're just going to let these guys in? They're just going against your own policy, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, they're completely breaking the rules. And, yeah, I think definitely Hank Aaron should be known as a home run king. To your argument, I don't think Barry Bonds, all of his home runs should count at all. And the big argument that's always said, which, it still annoys me, is that steroids don't teach you to hit the ball, or steroids don't help that much, And, I mean, it's just dumb because if it really didn't help that much, players wouldn't be taking it. And there's a huge risk associated with steroids. You'll get suspended a whole year, and players just wouldn't take this risk just for, like, a small advantage. They know steroids are giving them a huge advantage. And, yeah, I just don't think they should be put into the Hall of Fame. And there is a few steroid takers that are in the list of 2022 ballots. There might be at least one with A-Rod. So the list of 2022 ballots are A-Rod, David Ortiz, Mark Teixeira, Jimmy Rollins, Ryan Howard, Joe Nathan, Jonathan Papelbon, Prince Fielder, and Tim Lincecum. Who do you think is going to make it out of those guys?
So what I'm going to say right now, I'm just going to give my answer straight up to start off. Alex Rodriguez, David Ortiz, and maybe, and I say maybe, just maybe we'll see Ryan Howard in there as well. And Joe Nathan, of course. Joe Nathan was a darn good closer. I'm not saying that to be biased because he played for the Rangers. I'm saying that because he was just a darn good pitcher in general. Thing for A-Rod and David Ortiz, yes, they were confirmed steroid users. However, the years that they did steroids still would have them add up to being Hall of Famers. Alex Rodriguez, for example, he only did steroids when he was with us for the 3 years. You take out those stats from those years, he still has over 500 home runs and 2,500 hits still, and over 1,500 RBIs. That's not, questions asked. That's a Hall of Famer right there. That guy can go in. I would have no problem with A-Rod. Have no problem with David Ortiz. Nothing. That would be my Hall of Fame prediction for that year.
Okay. I think David, I wasn't sure about A-Rod, but I definitely knew that David Ortiz was, I mean, he only took it once at like the beginning of his career, and then he apologized for it. I was thinking maybe about Mark Teixeira being in the Hall of Fame, but he was like a DH his whole career, wasn't he?
He was a first baseman.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I mean, I would probably add Mark Teixeira to that list because probably the best switch hitter of all time. Yeah, Prince Fielder, Tim Lincecum, their careers were very short, so it's unfortunate, especially for Fielder. But yeah, I would definitely say for me, definitely Mark Teixeira. And yeah, again, very weird that nobody was let into the Hall of Fame this year. I think my thing is they should definitely let at least one person in every year. So this is a big topic for you. The MLB The Show cover, Fernando Tatis. How do you feel about that?
Personally, Satchel, man, my team screwed up big time when they decided to get mad at him for that grand slam. I'm just going to say that right now. I was ticked off when I saw that we were going to get mad about something like that. If you're going to throw a 3-0, never mind, I'll get into that argument later. As I'm going to say, though, I think it's good. Honestly, this is the first year I think that they picked the perfect cover athlete for their game. Not some overrated player, not some guy who had good years ago, but a guy who is truly good, truly the face of the league, and is deserving of it. So, personally, I like the cover athlete.
He's an exciting guy, a young talent that everyone pretty much loves. And they had Javi Baez last year, right?
They had Javier Baez, yes.
Yeah. So he was never like quite close to the level as one of the best players in the league. And not only that, I think Javi Baez, a lot of people did like him, but a lot of people didn't like him. And I think with Fernando Tatis, it's a lot better because he's somebody that everybody likes. I mean, even as a Ranger fan for you, maybe the one controversy he has against the Rangers, like even Rangers fans like him. So yeah, I do think it's a very, very good choice to have Fernando Tatis. Are you going to get Emily the Show 21?
Oh, there's no questions asked. Yeah. Absolutely. I'm going to get it. I'm even going to get the PlayStation 5 as well, hopefully.
Damn, really? Isn't that like $1,000 though? That's what I'm hearing.
No, it's $1,000. It's $1,000 if you buy it off one of those cheap things.
Oh,
buy it and then resell them. It's supposed to be $500 to $600.
That's not terrible. Can you play PS5 if you have that? Can you play PS4 players?
Yeah, we're gonna have to go up against each other. We're gonna have to go on another rivalry on MLB The Show. It is going to be sick.
The big rematch, the big anticipated rematch. Yeah, because we haven't played in like a year or two, or like at least a year.
It was almost 2 years, yeah.
All right, so let's go into the big news. Nolan Aronado to the Cardinals. And this was very weird to me because apparently the Rockies, of course, gave Nolan Arenado to the Cardinals, but the Rockies also gave $50 million to the Cardinals. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I heard about that. I don't know what they were thinking doing that, to be honest with you.
I was very confused. I guess a ton of prospects were in it. And yeah, Nolan Arenado, possibly the best third baseman in baseball. I think it's either Rendon or him. But yeah, that was huge news. I think that the Cardinals are definitely going to be in the top of the division. I mean, I don't see maybe the Cubs. I don't know. I think the Cubs won last season, right? They won the NL Central.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, the Cubs did win the NL Central, yes.
Yeah, I do think that was kind of with the short season. I mean, even the Padres were close to beating out the Dodgers. I mean, I think it's a small sample size, and I think especially adding Arenado. I mean, they also have Goldschmidt. They've gotten two guys that are like proven to be stars, great hitters year in and year out. And yeah, I think they're gonna beat out the Cubs. The Cubs also got Jock Peterson, the longtime Dodger. I was kind of annoyed about that because I was really hoping he'd go to the Angels last season. And then George Springer to the Blue Jays, who looked like they're contending for Bauer too. What do you think about the whole Blue Jays situation, getting Springer? Do you think they could get Bauer?
Well, I'm still not sure about that part. I mean, I'm still leaning on right now the Angels and the Mets. I
Mhm.
mean, I don't know, man. To be honest with you, this is a subject where it's like the Blue Jays have a small chance, but it doesn't match to what's going on between the Angels and the Mets right now.
Mhm.
It seems like that's the big time, two contenders to get him. The Blue Jays are just happen to be there, to be honest with you. That's
Yeah.
the way I see it.
Yeah, it's very interesting right now because there's some big news about an Angels pitcher, Mickey Callaway, yesterday. Did you hear about that news? There,
What happened?
there was like sexual assault allegation stuff, and that's just a big hurdle, and that puts a lot of controversy over the Angels. I wasn't sure if I was going to mention it this podcast or not because I was going to do like a whole video on it, but yeah, basically I'll say it's this huge controversy, and for the Bauer sweepstakes, I think it's definitely going to hurt. So, I mean, I still have the Mets. I've been having the Mets all off season. And yeah, George Springer to the Blue Jays. Um, yeah, it was interesting. It was very interesting. And what other news? Did you see that Pedroia retired?
Yes, yes, I did see that.
Yeah, what a legend. Do you think he'd be in the Hall of Fame ballot?
Um, Personally, yes,
Yeah. Yeah, I think
maybe.
he was an MVP. I'm just trying to think of his career. I know he won like 2 or 3 World Series. He hasn't played in like 5 years though. He keeps getting injured, unfortunately, and yeah, definitely a good choice by him to retire.
Honestly, I thought he retired years ago at first.
Yeah,
When I saw he retired, I was like, wait.
I know.
I was like confused. I was like, wasn't he retired in 2019 or something?
I don't think he played in 2019. He played like a couple games in 2018. Yeah, he just keeps getting injured. So he officially called it yesterday or a couple days ago.
It was yesterday.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it right now for the baseball news. A few free agent signings. We still waiting on the big one, Trevor Bauer. And why don't we maybe move on from baseball? We haven't moved on in baseball for a while. But there's some big news. Buccaneers or Chiefs? Who would you have between those two teams?
Well, this is a big Super Bowl.
Mhm.
A big Super Bowl. You got one of the greatest quarterback of all time, excuse
Mhm.
me, and Tom Brady against a young, electric, reigning Super Bowl champion, Patrick Mahomes.
Mhm.
This is taking place in Tampa Bay.
Yep.
I got Tom Brady on this one personally. I got Tom Brady gonna
Wow.
beat Patrick Mahomes this year.
Okay. Okay. It's sort of like it's almost like MJ were to go against LeBron in the NBA Finals. Like Tom Brady's the GOAT, and then Patrick Mahomes is like the new face of the game. Um, I don't know. I have to go with Chiefs because they just won last season. Patrick Mahomes is just a guy that's in his prime, and Tom Brady's very old. I mean, I honestly don't think that really matters too much. Honestly, I mean, it's Tom Brady. I mean, people have said his career's over like 5 years ago, and he turns like I could sit here and say he's old and stuff, but I mean, it's Tom Brady. I mean,
Dude, I will say that Tom Brady is definitely going to pass Drew Brees on the all-time touchdown list for sure.
mhm.
He's not retiring after this year. He's not retiring after next year. God knows when he's retiring at this point. He may play until he's 50, to be honest with you. He's Tom
60.
freaking Brady. 60?
I'll go 60, man. The way he's going.
I bet at this point he'll play until he drops dead, man, at this point.
Yep.
He's never going to
Crazy.
retire. He's not even going to retire at this point. Like, he'll die and then that'll be it when his career is over.
He'll probably still be playing after he retires in the future. They'll probably come up with some like robot thing, like a cyborg QB.
That sounds like something they'll make like 50 years after, or maybe like months after his death, dude. Like, they'll make some like kind of like robot that is like mixed in with like his
That's what
actual
I'm
talents, his
saying.
actual arm, almost like Madden, almost like how you have like the overall there, his actual like QB like intelligence. They're just gonna make that the way he is later on. His career is gonna continue.
Imagine they did that with, and imagine that happened in like all sports in the future. They just had
Oh my
superstars and
god.
they got their genes and just it was all like robots playing each other, like fucking Trout versus like Rod Carew or something.
Oh my gosh. No, it's like leading off. Fernando Tatis Jr. on the mound today is going to be Walter Johnson.
What if they had like robot like all-star games where they just got like the robots of like the genes of every player, dude?
Bro.
Imagine how
Okay.
entertaining that would be.
Like, dude, okay, the freaking NL All Stars, dude. Here's who I would say is going to be on that NL All Star team. All right, here we go. This is going to be insane. You got, let's see, playing second base would be Joe Morgan easily. Playing shortstop is going to be Fernando Tatis Jr. Playing third base would probably, man, who would play third base? Nolan Aronado probably. Playing first base. My goodness. I'm trying to think of a bunch of National League guys. We'll go Pete Alonso. We'll say somehow he's in this.
Okay.
Playing catcher, however, is going to be Johnny Bench.
You know,
You got the outfield with Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, and of course, Willie McCovey.
oh my god,
Babe
dude.
Ruth on the American League squad. Dude, can you imagine that?
Imagine Babe Ruth and Trout as teammates. I would
Dude!
love to see those matchups, like having a random pitcher against a batter, like Koufax against Trout or something.
Holy cow, that'd be insane. Or even Noah Syndergaard against Willie Mays.
Oh my god, dude. What a battle that would be. Jesus Christ, man.
Here's one.
Yeah.
Max Scherzer against Joe Dimaggio.
Oh, okay. Okay. What if Chapman faced those old players? I think if Chapman,
Oh no!
they would not be able to catch up with them. They pitched in like the 80 miles per hour back then. I don't think anyone would catch up with Chapman. What if they had like a brawl? What if they had like a robot brawl?
Oh my god!
Imagine.
Dude, you got like Babe Ruth finding up against Aroldis Chapman. You got, of course, Aroldis Chapman would actually beat the crap out of him. I mean,
know,
he'd
dude.
punch him in the stomach and he'd throw up the 50 hot dogs he ate before the match.
Dude, what was that with Babe Ruth? He would go and like get drunk and like then he'd go and like hit 3 home runs.
This podcast is about to be an hour long because we're talking about this kind of stuff, dude. Yeah,
Cyborg
dude, like,
game.
no, here's the thing.
Yeah, go
This
ahead.
may be extras. We're gonna put extras on this at this point, I think. No, like Babe Ruth. Here's a couple stories. All right, I want to mention a few stories. There was a story where before a game, he ate approximately 42 hot dogs and chugged down 3 beers. Right? Proceeded to smoke cigars in the dugout, then passed out on deck. Right? Passed out. And they called it in the news article, the stomach ache heard around the world. Japan thought it was so bad, they reported he died from that. They reported he died in Japan.
What?
It was that bad. There was another story where that was actually shown in the movie The Babe, which was played by John Goodman. He got drunk, got like high or not high. He smoked a bunch of cigars. He wasn't high. My bad. And he showed up to the game in the 9th inning, and the manager kept telling him to sit down. You're not playing, and he pushed him aside and said, "Get out of the way. I'm playing." So without any choice, he got the guy off deck. He comes up, wins the game, hits a walk-off home run. Can't even run the bases because of how drunk he is. Gets to home, and then just falls.
Dude, that is a different time, man. Where you're allowed to push the manager aside and hit a home run.
Unless you're LeBron James, dude. Nobody else does that.
True. True. So who would win? NL Robot Cyborgs or AL Robot Cyborgs?
Dude, that's actually tough. It's got to be the NL for sure, though, I
Really?
think. The NL, dude. I mean, especially if you got Nolan Ryan or even Sandy Koufax pitching. Nolan Ryan was in his freaking prime.
He would be AL though, right? With the Angels, Astros, and Rangers.
The Astros were in the NL until 2013.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, true.
And he still won a World Series in the NL with the Mets.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know,
Threw
man.
4 no-hitters with the Astros. Oh, I'm sorry,
That's
wait.
crazy.
Not 4.
7 in his career.
2.
7 in his career.
2 with the Astros, 3 with the Angels. Yeah.
Dude, Babe Ruth and Trout as teammates, that's something I would sign up for sure.
Oh, for sure. I mean, can you, or no, actually, let's think about this for a second. Babe Ruth was a character, right? Babe Ruth was somebody who absolutely did whatever the heck he wanted.
Yep.
Him against Madison Bumgarner, who does not like you doing a darn thing that is against the game.
Max Muncy looked at the ball he hit to see where it went, and he got mad at him. Madison Bumgarner. Remember that?
Yeah, dude, imagine if Tim Anderson flipped that bat. Imagine if it was Tim Anderson who hit that home run.
That would be crazy. That would be...
Dude, Madison Bumgarner's gonna get his ass beat if he continues to do stuff like that.
I don't know, dude. He's strong though. I think he would beat people up.
I don't care, man. You tick enough people off. You tick the wrong guy off. Imagine you were to tick somebody off like, I don't know. Let's say Yasiel Puig. I know they didn't actually fight. They got into a benches clearing brawl. Let's say it was him, or I don't know. Let's say he decided to fight Aroldis Chapman for some reason.
Yeah, I would sign up for that fight. They should just do like an MMA fight or something.
Oh, let them do what they do in hockey. You know how in hockey, you just fight whenever you want. Referees don't hold you back.
They everyone go to the side and they're like, all right, fight.
Or dude, there were times when referees fought players in the NHL, bro. It's just like normal.
That's insane, dude. All right, should we wrap it up?
I think we wrapped it up, dude.
Yeah.
I think we discussed everything.
I think we're at about 30 minutes, so yeah. Great discussion. I think next podcast I will be out there in Texas, so we'll do at least one podcast over there, right? I'm excited.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, guys, thank you for watching. Hopefully, Youngbin will be back too next podcast. Make sure you like and subscribe. And if you're watching the audio version, I also have a YouTube channel, Angels Vlogs. Check out Dalton Brown's channel. And yeah, peace out.